Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video. It is dark and early. Shout out to my fellow content creator Oron J for that intro. I woke up at a random time because I'm still in a weird vacation sleeping schedule, and I figured I might as well make this video right now because her kit was released like 45 minutes ago in the middle of the night for me. So let's go ahead and get into her kit. The TLDR is that I think your gems are safe. Now that doesn't mean that Crust is a bad character, but it means that she's probably not someone that you need to pull for, and she's a very specific buffer. So let's go ahead and take a look at what she actually does. Basically, she is a sustained and distributed damage buffer. She can also dispel debuffs, which is kind of niche. We don't have a lot of units that will dispel debuffs. I can think of one of the winter units. I can never remember if it is Belorta or the other one. I think it's her friend. But anyway, there are a couple of random units that will dispel debuffs, and there are a few random enemies that will do debuffs to you, such as the Crystal Chamber, but it's a very niche thing. Also, not a lot of units do distributed damage or sustained damage, but you do have some, notably such as Black Shadow Scarlet, as well as our newest DPS unit, Bready. Also, Dorothy does distributed damage, although the timing might be weird to work out with that for Crust. As far as some competition for Crust, you do have Rosanna, which buffs sustained damage, but I think we're going to be more focused on distributed damage, at least as far as when we're talking about Crust anyway. So she is a burst 2 support that uses a rocket launcher and is a water type, clearly meant to be a buffer for Bready, water type, and we're buffing the things that Bready does. So skill 1 says activates when landing with full charge and affects self. Oh no, sorry. Activates when attacking with full charge and is in Mylard status. It's a cooking term, I believe. Affects all allies. Mylard duration goes up 2.5 seconds. Or activates when attacking with full charge and affects self in blanching status. Affects all allies. Blanching duration goes up by 2.5 seconds. More cooking term. So basically, whichever status she's in, she's going to increase the duration of it either way. And as far as which one you want, it's all about her burst. So her kit looks more complicated than it is, because it has like a bunch of things of like, if she's in this status, it does this, or if you attack with full charge or not full charge, it does this. It kind of all does the same thing except for when she's in her burst. We'll get to that in a second. But then she says activates after landing 3 normal attacks without full charge, affects all allies. Mylard attack goes up by 10% of caster's attack for 10 seconds, or activates after landing 3 full charge attacks for more than 1 second, affects all allies. Blanching attack goes up by 10% of caster's attack for 10 seconds, and removes Mylard. So you're going to like either remove Mylard and go to blanching, or go from blanching to Mylard, depending on whatever you want to do, if you're either quick charging or full charging. But you get the same effect either way. Same thing for skill 2, activates after landing 3 normal attacks without full charge, affects all allies, and removes not in reliable cooking status. Reliable cooking defense goes up for 10 seconds, dispels a debuff, or activates after landing 3 full charge for more than 1 second, affects all allies. Not in reliable cooking status, defense goes up. So again, you get the exact same effect here. It doesn't matter whether it's just if you're fast charging or full charging. And then activates after entering full burst, affects all targets in Mylard or blanching status. Attack goes up by 20%. Okay, so again, a bunch of different things that end up doing the exact same thing here, whether you're in one status or the other. So what is the difference? It all depends on her burst. By the way, can I say that I hate that we have yet another unit where her kit is on 2 different images. This is like getting out of hand. Shift up. Please keep it on 1 page. Anyway, her burst is a 20-second cooldown, which is great. That's what we want for any burst 2 unit. And it says affects all allies. Attack damage goes up by 20% for 10 seconds. Affects all allies when in Mylard status. distributed damage goes up by 60% for 10 seconds. Or affects all allies when in blanching status, sustained damage goes up by 10% for 10 seconds. So here's where the difference is. So basically, you want to keep her in Mylar status if you can, because that is what's going to give you the 60% distributed damage bonus, which is quite a big bonus. So obviously 60% is going to be more than getting the 10% from being in blanching status. So try and keep her in Mylar status if you can, and then you're going to get a much bigger buff. Mainly you're going to be buffing Bready and potentially some of those other units that I mentioned earlier, but Mylar status is going to be the big goal there. So do you need to pull for her? I mean, if you're going all in on Bready, then maybe. But, our solo raid that was like kind of the big showcase for Bready is going to be over by the time you can get Crust anyway. So I think Crust is something that you can probably save your gems on, because we do have 2.5 anniversary coming really, really soon. And obviously we're going to get something pretty big. We all think it's going to be Mermaid, because various hints with the bubbles and things like that. And maybe she'll end up buffing Mermaid. So I don't know. You could pull for Crust if you're, banking on Mermaid being like a sustained / distributed damage attacker. They've been pushing sustained and distributed damage a lot recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing. But I'm probably going to be skipping Crust. I think you're probably safe skipping Crust. A strong, very niche buffer. And again, try and use the Mylar status. So that's going to be when you are quick charging. So you don't want a full charge with her, which means you're going to have to manual Crust most of the time. So don't pair her with other units that you also want to manual. Keep that in mind. So I want to take a quick moment to talk about sort of the larger trend of Nikke doing a lot of like paired units, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Now, this is not strictly paired. It's not like a team where you have to pull one or the other like we have with some units. But they're definitely doing their best to kind of like force you to have to get like both Mast and Anchor, or now both Crust and Bready. It just kind of, it doesn't feel good. Gotcha game business models don't feel good in general. Shift Up is honestly a lot better than a lot of companies when it comes to treating the players well, but it's just a trend that I've noticed. So I'd like to get your guys' opinion on this. Sound off in the comments below. Are you kind of like frustrated with a lot of paired units that we've been getting? I don't know, just something that I thought about, but I think they're probably safe skipping Crust. And it would have been a bigger incentive to get her if we were still able to get her during the solo raid, although that would have made it feel a little more scummy since she's kind of a pair, so maybe in a way it's better. But anyway, hopefully I can go back to sleep, and hopefully you guys are having a good day, and I will catch you guys in the next video or stream.